What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. It is the Euro 2020 final, just hours away, just around the corner. England against Italy, England's first major final since 1966. What a momentous occasion it's going to be on Sunday.
Incredible.
As we face the Italians, who have been absolutely brilliant as well this tournament. You got to say that. And I think that when you kind of overlook the tournament and look at the two finalists, I think you would say it's probably the best two teams in the tournament that have shown so far.
Definitely, especially from a defensive point of view. England conceding only one goal, that Damsgaard free kick throughout the whole tournament. Italy conceded 3 goals, two of them being in extra time, one of them being a penalty from Lukaku. So I think both teams have been absolutely stellar, and I think as well going forward they've been clinical. You'd say Italy have probably maybe looked the most creative going forward actually when they've dominated possession compared to England, but I think both teams have definitely had the two best defences, and I think they're the two best squads right now in Europe.
Wow, even better than France.
One of the two, 3.
All right, so look, today what we're going to be doing a combined 11, an England and Italy combined 11, which has actually been really tough to pick. But look, we're going to give it a go, and we want to know your opinions and what you think of the combined 11 as well. So both teams seem to be playing like either a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. So we've gone for like a hybrid of the both. So we've gone for, basically we'll go for a 4-2-3-1 with the number 10 dropping into a 3 basically.
4-3-3 basically.
Yeah. So let's go for it. In goal, we've gone for Donnarumma over Pickford.
Yeah, and I think Donnarumma right now is a superior keeper, unfortunately. As much as Pickford's had a great tournament, he's had a brilliant tournament, hasn't he? You can't complain about that. He really hasn't put a foot wrong, except for maybe you could argue he could have saved that free kick from Damsgaard. But I think overall, Donnarumma's been so solid for AC Milan. He's never ever in his whole Italy career conceded more than a goal in a game for Italy. So I think as well, he's just a bit more assured. He's a bit calmer than Pickford. So I think Donnarumma gets a spot.
Yeah, look, like I said, I think Donnarumma's such a good keeper.
22 years of age.
Such a good keeper. I mean, he looks so assured, so calm at the back. He's so big as well. He's got such a presence in there, in that goal. And unfortunately, I don't think there's a comparison between him and Pickford, really.
He's still 22, and you feel like he's been around for ages, don't you?
He's just got his move to PSG, and it looks like he's going to be a second choice there next season, which is unbelievable, when you think about it.
It is incredible. But he's got so many years ahead of him, doesn't he? So he's going to he's already a star, and he's going to be one of the best Italy have seen, I think.
Centre-back positions, we've gone for the Italian duo of Chiellini and Bonucci. So Maguire and Stones just missing out, but look, Chiellini and Bonucci, they've been around for donkey's years and they're still performing at such a high level.
It's how you can't leave either of them out. They're just two
as a pair.
They're unbelievable together, and they're an unbelievable duo, and they're individually as well. I think Bonucci, his passing range is so underrated. It's one thing that gets overlooked when people talk about someone like Bonucci, like his composure on the ball and his ability to spray passes left and right is often overlooked. And obviously Stones and Maguire have been impeccable for us this tournament, absolutely impeccable. And I can't say a bad word about either of them of what they've done this tournament, but I can't put them ahead of Chiellini or Bonucci right now.
Legends of the game. They are.
Yeah, and they're still doing it even at their age, and even for Juventus as well. I know they had the tough season for Juve, but consistently they've been winning league after league after league, getting to Champions League finals as well for Juventus. So I think they've had a great tournament as well. They've had a brilliant tournament. They've kept out some of the Europe's best strikers in their run here, so they have to get it, I think.
Yeah, completely agree. Fullbacks, we're going for the English duo at fullbacks. Luke Shaw on the left, Kyle Walker on the right. Let's talk about the right back situation first. So it was either Kyle Walker or Di Lorenzo. I think Walker. I think he's had a brilliant tournament so far. In the semi-final, he was absolutely insane.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
What a performance in that semi-final. Di Lorenzo has also been good this tournament, but I don't think you can match him up with Kyle Walker.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And I think although Trippier's also played a right wing back a couple of times. Didn't he start on a back four for one? Or Reece James started, didn't he, against Scotland? But hasn't quite been as good as Kyle Walker. Not so much offensively. I don't think he's actually had too much to contribute going forward, which is unlike Kyle. But defensively,
that sweeper work he just does,
he is
backing up for
incredible.
everyone.
It's like it makes us impenetrable. Anytime Maguire or Stones get bypassed, Maguire is there every single time. Every time it looks like an opposition player is in on goal, there's Walker just coming out of nowhere to cover the space, and he seems like he can just run, do that job for 90 minutes without tiring or anything. So he's been brilliant at doing that kind of stuff. And as you say, Di Lorenzo's had a solid tournament. He's been pretty good, but I don't think he's been on Kyle Walker's level.
And left back with Luke Shaw. It would have been a toss-up between him and Spinazzola, but seeing as he's injured, unfortunately, for a really bad injury, 5-6 months he's out for. What a tournament he had, Spinazzola. We put him up against Emerson, and I think Shaw is most definitely the better player than Emerson. I'm not saying Emerson's a bad player or anything, but I think Luke Shaw has really lit up the tournament this year. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. The only left-back that could have been better in this tournament was Spinazzola.
Exactly. So I think that's an easy decision at the end of the day. Luke Shaw's been... You could easily make a case from being the left-back of the tournament, even with Spinazzola fit. So I think he easily gets that left-back spot, and he's been brilliant, especially going forward. How many assists and chances he's created has been absolutely fantastic. Defensively, he's been near faultless as well. He's been able to cover that space on the left-hand side. Obviously, Sterling helping him and Phillips as well. But I think his link-up play with Sterling has been great as well. Getting him behind on the byline so often, and also his final ball has really improved. He's always putting in dangerous crosses and dangerous passes. So yeah, Luke Shaw has come on leaps and bounds, and it says it all that someone like Ben Chilwell hasn't even had a look in, hasn't even had a thought in this tournament. Despite how good of a season he's had for Chelsea, that shows how good Shaw's been.
Completely agree. So let me just run through that defence one more time. So that's Donnarumma in goal, Kyle Walker right back, Luke Shaw left back, with Chiellini and Bonucci in the centre back positions. I mean, what a defence that is!
It's incredible defence.
That is unbelievable. In the midfield positions, we are going for Italian duo of Barella and Verratti, with Jorginho just missing out. I mean, Jorginho, third favourite to win player of the tournament, and we're missing him out. Verratti, I think was he injured at the start of the tournament?
He
played the first game
had a bit of an injury,
or so.
Came in against Wales and hasn't looked back really.
Since he's come in, I mean, he has just been a literal bull in a china shop there, sliding into tackles. I mean, he probably could have got about 2 sending-offs this tournament, but I think he has held that solidity in the middle there for Italy. And Nicola Barella, I mean, what can I say about Barella? He's been absolutely insane this season, backing up his wonderful season that he's had with a great Euros, in my opinion. And I think that when you compare to the England midfield of Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, who've also been absolutely unbelievable, I can't put Barella and Verratti behind them. I just can't, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Phillips maybe has been the one who's had the best tournament. You could argue for England.
Declan Rice has been brilliant.
Yeah, he's also been brilliant. But I think Phillips has just done that extra bit, which has been absolutely incredible. And he's very unlucky to miss out. But I think Verratti, on his day, one of the best in Europe. I know he's coming into his late 20s, coming into his prime for PSG. And he's been absolutely phenomenal since he's broken back into the team. And after our Wales game, he's controlling games. He's putting in a lot of tackles and a lot of slide tackles, as you mentioned. But his ability on the ball to just dribble out of tight situations and not give the ball away was fantastic. And then obviously Nicola Barella. He has been one of the stars of the tournament, one of the stars of the past year in Italian football, and he's really shone and shown what he's about, especially that goal against Belgium. I mean, that was absolutely phenomenal piece of skill, and he's been doing that kind of stuff, not just the finish, but the way he jinked past 2-3 players. He really is a special talent, and they're going to go a long way, I reckon. He's going to go a long way in terms of going down Italy history as one of their best centre mids, I think, because he's got a lot of time on his side and he's already shining. So I'm looking forward to what more is to come for Barella. Hopefully not Sunday, but in the future.
And any word on Jorginho missing out?
He's unlucky.
He's been very good this tournament.
And he's unlucky, and I think he's also one of those midfielders who's very underrated. I think we potentially at risk of underrating him as well, not putting him in the 11, because I think he's had a stellar tournament. The job he does is overlooked constantly because it's not the prettiest job, but he consistently gets the ball in deep areas and finds pockets of space and finds players in pockets of space, which is difficult to pick up. and Mourinho hails him as the best in Europe. But for me, Verratti and Barella are better players, but that's just how I see it. But I think Jorginho is also very underrated talent.
We'll bring Jorginho on for penalties, though, won't we?
Yeah, I'm sure. Exactly. I don't want to get penalties of him being at fifth, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then in the number 10 or third midfielder position, we're going for Mason Mount. I mean, Italy don't really play anyone there. So it was basically either Mount, Grealish could have played there. But I mean, Mount's been the mainstay in the tournament apart from when he was out for that isolation period. Yeah,
and I think he's had an incredible season and a pretty solid tournament as well, you got to say. So I think Mount makes the grade in that third midfield spot. And I think he's one where you're thinking he's very similar to Barella in the fact that he can play in the central midfield, but he's also very disciplined in his positioning. He doesn't get caught out. He's not a liability, but when he's on the ball, left foot, right foot, dribbling, final ball, it's all so great. It's all absolutely fantastic. And maybe he doesn't have the skill, maybe Barella does, but he makes up for it for his effectiveness on the ball.
Yeah, completely agree. I think he's an absolutely amazing talent, Mason Mount. Let's go over to the wingers. We've got on the left Raheem Sterling, on the right Chiesa. Sterling, it's a toss-up between him and Lorenzo Insigne. Both of them have had really good tournaments, but I think Sterling, look, he's the bookies' favourite to win player of a tournament. He's scored, 3 goals already, or 4 goals, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Or 3 goals and an own goal, was it?
Yeah, 3 goals and an own goal.
So I think Sterling, he's been brilliant this tournament. People wrote him off before the tournament saying, he shouldn't be playing. Even after he scored those first 2 goals in the first 2 games, or the first 3 games, saying he shouldn't be playing. But Southgate stuck to his guns and he's showing what a brilliant player he is.
Yeah. He's a great player, and I think he came under a lot of criticism, didn't he, coming into this tournament? But I think he's really proved a lot of people wrong. He's shut a lot of people up with his performances, and I think Denmark was against Denmark. He was not just the goal or the own goal he forced, but he was sensational throughout that whole 180 minutes. He was brilliant.
He didn't give them a minute's rest.
They couldn't handle him. They could not handle him. His dribbling ability, getting in their faces, getting into the box, making them commit, getting shots off. He was absolutely sensational. It really was. And the difference between him and Insigne is maybe, when you're outside the box, who would I rather get having a shot from outside the box? Would I rather be Sterling or Insigne? Probably Insigne, but he loves the spectacular Insigne, and it might come off for him one or two times, like in a tournament. But Sterling is just that effective play. He's so effective with his movement, his running, his finishes at the back post. That's his forte now. The amount of times he picks up the ball at the back post and just has an easy tapping because of his pace, he can just dart in there and you can't be stopped. So I think that's why Sterling, for me, is a better player than Insigne, and he's been one of our players of the tournament.
And Chiesa on that right-hand side, it's basically him between Jadon Sancho or Bukayo Saka. And I think Chiesa... look, I'm not slighting Jadon Sancho or Bukayo Saka at all, because I think both of them are brilliant players. But I think when you're looking at this tournament, Chiesa, he's been a level above them in this tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Chiesa's had a brilliant tournament, especially since coming on against Austria. He's made a real impact, and the quality of his finishes is fantastic. He's a player who can definitely blow hot and cold, and he's a player who maybe... If you're thinking maybe Bukayo Saka during the game might be more involved, but Chiesa's more likely to make the difference in the final third. He's more likely to come up with that bit of magic. Whereas Saka might dribble past 2 or 3 players, but there's not always an amazing finish to get on the end of that. Whereas Chiesa, once he cuts inside, it's going to be hard to stop.
Every goal he scored in this tournament has been insane.
Yeah.
Every goal he scored has been absolutely brilliant. Was it two or three has he scored?
Austria and the semis as well.
Both of them, absolutely brilliant goals from Chiesa, and I love him as a player. I keep saying it. I absolutely adore him as a player because he's so exciting to watch. He's one of these players that when he gets the ball, you stand up and watch. You know what I mean? Very exciting player.
Yeah, he's still a young player. He's still got a bit of inconsistency in his game, but you can see the quality, and I think Juventus are going to nurture him, and he's going to turn into a real player for them.
Completely agree. And then up top, obviously, who else but Harry Kane? I mean, he goes up against Ciro Immobile, and I've been very disappointed with Immobile this tournament. I thought he would have made a bigger impact than he did, or than he has done. I probably shouldn't be saying that just before the final against Italy. I'll probably eat my words at the end of it, but you can't really compare the two players.
Nah, Kane is head and shoulders above Immobile for sure. I think Immobile, he's got a couple of goals. He'll be disappointed maybe with his contributions in the knockout stages. I think he's kind of fallen away quite badly, but I think all in all, He's had an okay-ish tournament, disappointing in a few games, but okay in some other games. But Kane, I think, even in the group stages where people say he was anonymous, like a lot of the stuff, the good stuff that came around, like for example, his movement for the Croatia goal, which led to Sterling being free and things like that. And I thought against Czech Republic as well, he could have easily come up with a couple of goals if it wasn't for some great keeping. So I think Kane, even in the group stages, was solid. And then he came into the knockouts and he hasn't looked back. I think it's 4 goals in 3 knockout games, showing that he can turn up when it matters most. Great performance, I thought, against Denmark. I thought he was everywhere. That pass to Saka for the first goal was De Bruyne-esque. It was absolutely sublime. And obviously, I know he missed the penalty, but he stepped up for the rebound.
This thing, sorry to interrupt you, but there's this thing, we always talk about Kane when he does a good pass, saying it's De Bruyne-esque. Mm-hmm. When are we going to start talking about these passes that other players do and say that's Kane-esque?
I have to at this point, because most assists, he does it in his sleep, these passes, Kane. You see it. He knows exactly where the fullbacks are, and he just spray it on a plate for them each time, like without even looking. And his passing has look, we know how good his passing is. We've seen it every week for Tottenham, so it's no surprise. But I'm so happy he's doing it on the world stage. I'm so happy he's doing it at the Euros. Because he wasn't quite doing that at the World Cup in 2018, was he? And especially at the Euros in 2016.
His game's evolved since then, hasn't it?
Exactly. So I'm happy we're seeing the full Harry Kane at these Euros. He's not leaving anything behind, and hopefully he brings it on Sunday, because Chiellini and Bonucci are going to be his toughest test yet. But hopefully he can pass that test, and why not? Why not? Right. And he's an unbelievable player. We know that.
All right, Sir Harry Kane. Let's run through that team one more time. I mean, that is it. This is what a strong 11 this is. Donnarumma in goal, Kyle Walker at right back, Luke Shaw at left back, centre back pairing of Chiellini and Bonucci, a middle two of Barella and Verratti, on the left Raheem Sterling, on the right Federico Chiesa, in the middle Mason Mount, and up top Harry Kane. I mean, what a team that is. What a
incredible team. That would easily win the World Cup, I think. Definitely have a good shout. It's a brilliant team, and I think it goes to show how closely tight it is. And I think there's a lot of tight decisions there as well in the 11. I think you got to think the right wing spot, the central midfield. There's a lot of tight spaces that could go either way. So I'd like to know people's opinions.
Yes, exactly. So everyone, let us know your opinions in the comment section below. This is our Italian and England combined 11. I want to know your predictions in the comment section below. And also, let me know what you think the scoreline of the game will be. 8 p.m. Sunday night at Wembley. Catch the live watch-along live on location for the last time this Euros. 8 o'clock Sunday night. Looking forward to it. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on England!